Wow, what an incredible song. Thanks for requesting that. It really blessed me. So, with
It
that,
makes me
Bala,
just being in a constant state of thanksgiving that no matter what you have,
yeah.
someone wants what you have. They could be in a worse position. And just being in a constant state of thanksgiving for my
Hmm.
boys, for my little life, my dog that eats trash, you know, my car that has a broken windshield. I have a car. I have a dog that's loyal. I have sons that love me. I have a home that shelters me. I have all of these things, and it puts you back in a state of just pure thanksgiving in his presence. And that song makes me cry every time.
I appreciate you sharing that. And that's really the point because, a lot of people get really hung up on this. Well, that song's not a worship song or that song's not a praise song or, it just sings about God, doesn't sing to God or whatever the case is. But, in all honesty, our hearts aren't always right. Sometimes we got to hear a song that maybe isn't exactly just what everybody else needs, but it's what we need in that moment to get our heart right with the Lord so that we can be in worship and praise. And so I really appreciate you saying that because we really need to have this worship with the right heart. And it's the benefit that we gain from that worship when our heart is right that really gives us that extra step toward our relationship with God. And
Amen.
that's a great song for getting your heart right. I'll tell you.
Yeah. And watching
So
him with his family and everything that he needs. He doesn't have
yeah.
fancy cars in the video, or, he doesn't show his house too much. It's just his family.
Yeah, and that's
And
what
that's what you
matters.
take to heaven with you. Yeah, that's what you take with you, right? You don't take
Yeah.
the fancy things.
Yeah. Yeah, to not store up treasures on earth that are destitute, that that fade away with rust, and to store up those treasures in heaven that are eternal, that last forever. Yeah, and the only currency that we can bring to heaven with us is our brothers and sisters. So, let's get them saved,
Mhm.
right? And let's hold hands and get up there and meet them in the clouds.
Amen.
So, Bella, is it Bala or Bela? It looks like Bela.
It's Baila. Yeah.
Bela.
And I'll
Yeah.
talk about my name briefly
Yeah.
in my testimony because that is a little bit part of it. So, from the beginning, um, my mother did not name me right away when I was born. She did wait on the Lord. She was going to name me Becca, but he said, no, I have a name for you. And so I think it was maybe a day or two, and the nurses were pushing her, hey, ma'am, you've got to sign the birth certificate. We need to get this over to records. She said, okay, well, and then she was praying about it, and she said, well, the Lord gave me the name Baila, and I'm going to name her Baila. Well, what about a middle name? And the Lord said, well, she's born in May, isn't she? And she said, oh, well, yeah. So she named me Baila May. Little did I know, Becca in Hebrew, I believe, it resonates with being bound or tied down. But Bela is Hebrew. I didn't know that. And it means to dance with joy, to be freed in the Lord and have Him, be my freer, my refuge. And that has played out in my life that I have seen, and it stays true to my testimony. I was abused in childhood, and I had a hard time getting over that. And then also, I went through a really hard relationship with my daughter's father that was very, very debilitating. Leave me alone. Leave you alone? Okay. Um, but yeah, those things happened, but I was able to heal in coming back to the Lord. My husband and I met on happenstance. We were working at the same place, and I didn't really know who he was, but he never wasn't a, a man of God. He was always listening to worship, and I thought it was strange. I had always grown up in church, and I didn't I did never doubt the existence of God. My mother taught him to me like he was a fact of life, that he was a fact of the matter that we lived and things like that. So I never really doubted God or his existence. I just strayed away for a while in my late teens and early 20s. And then I met my husband and we got married. I got married when I was 21, and I don't regret it. As soon as we went to the courthouse and we signed the paper and paid our $80, we said our vows, and he said, I now pronounce you man and wife. And it was like a switch immediately that, oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's good. It's perfect timing, because just as you're talking about this incredible thing, all of a sudden there's this big burst of laughter. It was so cool.
Yeah, but they follow me like little ducklings everywhere. But anyways, it was a switch that went off, and I no longer wanted those things. I didn't want to continue doing the things that were not of the Lord that I was doing, and it was really just, wow, what just happened? Did I just get married and sanctified at the same time? Kind of thing. And so that's when I got the piece of advice from a loved one who told me, honey, if you stay close to God, your marriage will never fail. And if your husband stays close to God, your marriage will never fail, right? You'll have those old people moments of you dancing in the kitchen and all the kids are gone, or, something like that. And I said, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. And so, yeah, we follow that advice, and I don't think that we've come out of the honeymoon stage yet. We've never had a fight once. We don't yell. We don't hold contempt. We fix our issues if we do have them very calmly, and we speak about them, And I think that that's really important to remember, that as long as you keep God in the center where he should be, everything comes together and is made right. But yeah, that's just a little bit.
That's incredible. So you're telling me you've been with your husband 4 years, you guys have never had an argument? Is that what I heard you say?
No, we have not.
Wow. I didn't think that was possible. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I'm pretty sure everybody else in marriage in this world would say that the first 4 years, they probably did have an argument or two. So to know that it's possible, and that it's all focused on your relationship with the Lord, and that's the reason, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when you see, I don't call them arguments. See, if I have something that's wrong, he knows my body language, my husband does. And if I feel some kind of way, he'll come up to me and he'll say, hey, are you okay? Do we need to talk? And I'm like, yeah, I just don't feel right about this thing. And I'll say, okay, I understand your reasons, your feelings, they're all valid. Let's see how we can move on. And so it's just absolute. He's a walking green flag. And it's just, I could have never prayed for such a man. And when I tell you that God literally brought us together, just a little snippet. My husband told me a little after we met, and it scared me. He said, I had a dream a while ago that my wife was going to be a woman of fair skin with a white streak in her hair. And that's me.
Wow, that's cool. I love it when the Lord does cool things like that. Just tiny little details that they remind us how intricate our lives are and how involved he is in every one of those intricacies. Isn't that awesome? Yep. This God that created the whole universe actually cares enough about our pesky little lives to pay attention to those details. It's just incredible.
It scared me so much, I ran away.
Oh, yeah?
I did. I ran away, and I was unfaithful. We were engaged to be married. And I also thought it was interesting when you were speaking on that as well, because that is part of, our marriage as well. And the fact that our marriage is in the state that it's in, even though I did that, it just emulates the fact that God can get us through literally anything.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Yeah, he's with us in that fire. And then on the other side of it, then we get to see the amazing good that he brings out of it. And if we trust him in the process, then we get to harvest those blessings in abundance. And if we don't trust him, well, then we still get reminded. But boy, I like looking back and saying, I held true, Lord. Thank you for where we are today, But he's always faithful to bless us, no matter what ends up happening, and correct us. And oftentimes that correction is the blessing. So
Amen. Oh, yes.
I sure appreciate you.
The correction from that instance was very much a slap in the face. I had never heard something so loud. He said, you need to leave. I was like, what? My car doesn't even work. What do you mean? He was like, you need to leave and you need to go to the man I have for you now. And I was like, wait. And he's like, yeah, so get it figured out. I'll take care of the details. So I called my mom. She paid for me to have my car fixed. I had to have a new set of tires and everything put on the car. And then I texted my husband, who I wasn't speaking to, mind you, and I said, hey, did you still want to get married? He said, yes, I do. And he took the next flight from Georgia to Washington State to help me drive out of there. And we got married a day later.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Appreciate you sharing that, sister.
Yeah, I've got a lot.
Happily ever since.
Yes, very much so. We have 2 beautiful boys out of it, and we have a very lovely home and life, and we're still very much in love.
Wow, that's incredible. Appreciate you sharing that. And with that, if you didn't have anything else that was on your heart,